All right, welcome to the Cosmic Energy Forecast. I'm Angela Blaha, and this is your forecast for the week of June 9 through the 15th, 2020. Today, June 9, it's a day of independence and unconventional experiences. Can you feel it? Can you feel the independence of who you are? Can you feel the experiences just sort of waiting to happen? Can you feel the freedom in trying and being something different? Literally, the shadows are coming up in your energy field today so that you can literally transform them and move forward. Move into those unconventional experiences, the ones that you've been stuffing for eons. That's what's being called forward. Now, even if you do not know or fully understand your pivot from the eclipse, no fretting. It will reveal itself this week. It feels like it's just like right on the cusp of being revealed. That means that today's shadows are so important for you to sort of transition and move through, but don't make them work. When we have shadow energy, do not make it work. Know and trust that it will naturally transmute or transform itself, and you don't ever have to work through anything. When we have shadow energies that are popping up, like let the clue or the symbol or the sign that you're looking for, if you have shadow energy, let that sort of feeling bad or having, not really knowing what your emotions are, let that be your sign. That's all that is. All right, pay attention to your dreams. Have you been having some wild, crazy dreams? Because they've been, off the charts over here. So pay attention to them, right? If you're having trouble with anything new and exciting coming into your life, sometimes the conscious mind cannot understand. So it enters into your consciousness through your dream states. Like the other day, I had a dream that there were just kittens, like baby kittens, all the way up to big cats, like they were everywhere. But they weren't traditional colors. They were colors like, purple. So pay attention to the dreams. They're really becoming very important. And this week, they're probably going to be pretty wild, I want to say, different, just so that you can expand the conscious mind into grasping on to your new concepts and ideas that are coming through. You most likely will be feeling authentic as the day grows on because your need for freedom grows in strength today. That's the purpose of having shadow energies pop up this morning, is so that you can move into the freedom and it will become much stronger. All right, Wednesday, June 10th. What have you been suppressing? It's the question of the day. And it's also a very genuine question and will be the focus for the rest of the week. So what have you been suppressing? Like really, it's a week of shadow suppression kind of energies. You will most likely notice how you take the long road to achieving or even admitting to your desires, wants, and needs, and how it completely drains your energy and pulls you into survival mode. If you're feeling really tired, I want you to look at what you're suppressing. You may even go so far as to see this life as kind of a disappointment. And until you incorporate your genuine, authentic self, it will continue to be disappointing. Find ways to incorporate creativity and imagination into your life. Super, super important. Again, the mind cannot grasp onto new concepts and ideas if you're still in the same old holding patterns. How do we move out of that? You move into creativity, imagination, something that sparks your motivation to be new. Now, on Wednesday, the romantic parts of life are demanding to be brought in so that you can feel life is worthy of the effort. I'm going to repeat that. The romantic, like those, like when you were a kid, you used to live in this sort of euphoria, fantasy kind of a world, right? Those aspects are being pulled back into life right now. Again, it's just part of the imagination, it's part of the creativity, it's part of, you really moving into who you really are, because those parts of us are very romantic. They take a whole different language. So allow that part of you, those demanding, like those fantasy kinds of energies that are sort of lurking around you. I know you can feel them. They're everywhere in the cosmos. Like they're demanding to be brought into your life so that you feel like you are, like, this life is worth the effort. So if you have this energy around you that is, saying it's been a disappointing kind of a life, well, it's because you're not living the fantasy. And it's not really a fantasy, it's actually more real than this third dimensional reality is. So allow that to come in on Wednesday. Thursday, June 11th. You will most likely feel drained and depleted because distractions will be pulling you from one thing to another on Thursday. Again, it is another day of how reality has not measured up to your grandiose ideals of which you were born into. Now, it will cause a loss or a sense of being lost on Thursday. It's okay. Just go with the lost feeling, like you don't know who you are or what you're doing here. Just allow that to be. Flow with it for a little bit. Surrender into it for a little bit. And as you look, as this looks like the path of least resistance, when we're in these kinds of big pivot transition kind of points, sometimes it's just easier to flow with the sense of being lost and sort of just floundering around for a day or an hour or a couple minutes. It's the path of least resistance. When we have least resistance, we transition quicker. We transmute the energy quicker versus resisting or butting heads or having this sort of conflict inside with yourself. Stop the conflict and let it transition naturally. Again, nothing to do here, just surrender and be. On Thursday, this path of least resistance, this sort of energy of feeling lost, I want to say, it may allow you to incorporate your spirit. Like, that's really what's being called here, is these higher dimensions of your own spirit, your higher self, your God self. That's really what the focus wants to come in and be. But we resist those kinds of things because we think that they are too fantasy. They are too grandiose. They are too out of reach or out of touch with this kind of reality. And in reality, the spirit being brought into your life and like making you feel blissed out, like that's what the new earth is being called for. All right, moving on to Friday, June 12th. Be open to learn something new from others. Not from yourself, but from someone else. See the beauty in weakness today and just how vulnerable people are when they show their weaknesses. When you show your weakness, how vulnerable do you become? Your use of compassion will shine bright if you allow yourself to go in this direction. Allow the weaknesses or things that you have strengthened, but maybe it's not your strongest point. Like, instead of trying to defend it, just look at it, see it for its beauty. We bring in weaknesses for a purpose, for a reason. It's where your compassion really lies. And when you can see the compassion, or when you can see the weakness of in yourself and of others, you become more compassionate. So allow that to happen on Friday. Saturday, June 13th. These are times of spiritual maturity. So over the next 2 years, you will grow. You will be challenged to face what reality you have created so far. I'm going to repeat that. These are times of spiritual maturity. Over the next couple of years, you and I, we will be challenged to face what we have created so far. With this challenge, you will be expected to see reality according to your purpose and your mission. So earlier in the week, right, we see life as kind of disappointing, not really measuring up to the grandiose ideas that we came in with. Well, it will continue. And on Saturday, we're going to be face to face with it. And for the next couple of years, we will be face to face with it until we surrender into those grandiose, fantasy-like ideals, because that's really what the new earth is. And we actually take steps to make them a part of reality. So if you open up to your internal truth, great wisdom and freedom will come with living from this state of truth. Now, if you're looking for freedom and wisdom and all of those kinds of grandiose ideas, grandiose concepts, let's start living from your internal truth. Be in the present as much as possible over the next few months. Do not believe anything. Do not believe anything except your highest self, as the distractions will become a plague. And right now, we don't really know what is truth and what is not truth, because there are so many things that are being recreated, these karmic patterns that are being recreated right now, so that we can move through them, because we didn't move through them the first time they came around. So just know that everything that's being played out in the world right now are these karmic patterns, and they will become plague-like if we give them energy, and if we don't move through them, they will become very plague-like. On Sunday, June 14th, shed everything in your life that holds you down and turns all of your focus to what allows you to thrive. On Sunday, shed every single thing in your life that holds you down. Turn your focus to what allows you to thrive. Do not focus on what needs to be healed. Do not focus on your old patterns, none of those kinds of things. Turn your focus on what makes you thrive. Puts a fire under you. What creates passion and purpose in you? That's where your focus needs to reside. Not only on Sunday, but on your future. You are being guided and fully supported by the cosmic energies in looking ahead, and to increase your strengths so that you literally serve your purpose. Everything outside of that has to go. Has to go. This is the pivot on a big universal cosmic kind of level. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of people in your life. You see, that's where we get tangled up. That's where all the entanglement comes in. Does not mean that we get rid of people or we get rid of our stuff. It literally means to disengage, release from the beliefs. It's literally the beliefs that are limiting. It's not the people. It's not the stuff, it's the beliefs that keep you from your grandiose, abundant, and freaking amazing life. Monday, June 15th. Go inward. See yourself in your future. Who are you? Over the next few days, really contemplate and ask your soul self, your highest self, your God self, to show you who you really are and what your future purpose is. Stop denying yourself of your purpose. Do not fret. If you do not get an answer right away, you will be shown in the days to come. But be persistent, be focused with bringing in your authentic highest self, as this is the only way of being in the new energies. Do not allow yourself to lose your focus on Monday and beyond. It is literally a week of pivots, honestly. It's not just one pivot here that we're talking about. Eclipse energies bring in pivots. It's an entire week of pivots. And distractions. Oi! We have pivots and then we have distractions. What's the true purpose? Geese, that's really the question. So allow yourself to pivot through this week. Allow those distractions to come up. Allow them to work through your shadow, but don't allow yourself to get engaged and like diminish your energy in them, in the distractions. Let your focus remain on who you really are. Understanding what you are here, what you are here for, and what you have denied yourself over the years, so you do not bring that pattern into the future. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Pivot through all the denial. Pivot through all of the misunderstandings and the not seeing who you really are. Like, let yourself pivot through that kind of energy. Naturally. There's no work to pivoting. There's no work to looking through the shadow. All you have to do is acknowledge that it's shadow, and then you move on. All right, you beautiful, amazing beings. Have an amazing week. Come back and re-listen to this if you need to. And pivot. Move through. Expand. Grow. Be your truest, highest, most authentic self. We love you dearly.